Now, a few good women about to make military history this week as two are set to graduate from the elite Army Ranger School. This after competing such a feat that many men, most men, majority of men couldn't handle. Should these women now be allowed to head right to the front lines? Christian Whitten is still with us, joined now with retired Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant and Senior Fellow for the London School of Policy Research. That's one heck of a title, but that's one heck of a woman, Jessie Jane Duff. Jessie, let me start with you. We've had this discussion before. Listen, I think it's amazing. I think if they do send them to the front lines, God bless them, and I'd be proud of them.
Yes, I'm actually very, very impressed that the two women did graduate, and I don't want to take away from that at all. They are West Point graduates, which says a lot about them. However, there has been no long-term research or data on long-term operational combat operations with women. And why I'm saying this is that we have 45% less muscle mass, 20% less lung capacity. Are we ready to deal with the mass disability that women already have? Many of these women, if they should graduate and get into this type of field, are they going to even see the end of a 4-year enlistment, let alone 20 years like myself? It is hard. I know a 29-year-old woman who needs 2 hips replaced after her tour in the Marine Corps.
Well, Christian, by the same token, though, these women have obviously passed all of the physical and mental requirements that are needed. So from that point of view, without looking at their gender on a piece of paper, they're just as qualified as anyone else. And I think if they want to serve and they want to serve in that capacity, why should we continue to stop them?
Well, because there's more to it than that, you know, and I agree with Gunny Duff, and I'll defer to her on the soldiering. I think she made some important points. We're at the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. Go back and look at history and what we know from infantry combat. I mean, so much of being a rifleman, being in the infantry, being close to combat is not pointing a gun and pulling a trigger. That's an important part, but so much is hauling around heavy stuff, living in complete filth. And if you look at candid descriptions of infantry combat, like with the old breed about Peleliu or Farewell Darkness by William Manchester, you see that people aren't fighting for the flag. They're not necessarily fighting for the country. They're fighting for the guy next to them. I'm not saying that can't survive in a co-ed environment, but I'm saying you should be very careful with you do that, because if you lose your infantry, you lose your country.
Well, also there's a report out this morning too that the Navy may start allowing women who can pass the physical parts of it to begin training to become Navy SEALs. And you know, no disrespect to Rangers, but a lot of people say this is even more grueling. So it feels like the military is moving in that direction. And let's face it, Jessie, I've seen images of the women fighting for the Kurds and Kobani. They're in the front lines, and they are killing ISIS, and they're doing an amazing jobs, and they're fighting for their lives in their country. You know, it feels like they were able to do it. Why couldn't American women do it?
Okay, American women already do it. I'm a trained rifleman. Every woman in the Marine Corps is a rifleman. But when we're talking about underwater demolition training, you're talking a 6-month stressful course. If women can graduate it, great, but we do have 20% less lung capacity. I think this may be a difficulty for many women.
When you talk about a study, though, Jessie, let me just jump in. You've talked about a study. Is there anything that's ever going to really replace actually letting a few women try it to see if it works out? I mean, you could do anything you want, white paper studies and assumptions, but really actually getting out there and seeing if it works. Is that the only way to truly know if it's possible?
I have no problem with women graduating these courses. My biggest concern is that when you're out in the field operation, you're talking a combat environment for 6 months at a time, you carry a 75-pound pack at a minimum every single day, along with Kevlar helmet, along with your weapon. The women that have to endure this, I want to know, are they going to even finish 4-year enlistment? Are we ready to pay them for their disability? And are we willing to face that? How is it equal when they don't even have an equal chance?
All right,
How is that equal?
Well, we're going to leave it there, but I got to tell you, I think one thing we all agree on is we salute them. It's an amazing achievement.
Absolutely.
And we're proud of everyone that serves our country and our military. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. Great stuff.
Thank you.